Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome to another Monday Mastery, where we take a look at the energies at present, as well as what we've experienced this past week, and look for guidance on how to move forward in the week coming. So excited to be here with you. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all of you who have committed to or previously supported our country and helped defend our freedom. I am so grateful to you all. It's kind of nice to say we had a little bit of a quieter week again, and yet we're also starting to see a pickup in some of the energy. So this is a fun one. This is definitely a fun one. I do kind of feel like we have been playing a bit of the red light, green light game, like go, stop. And the divine pause and quick, hurry, fast momentum. So that'll kind of touch into or give you a hint of what is coming as far as the message and what we can offer to support us through this energy. So as far as the timeless message, we'll get there in just a minute. As far as the solar weather, I will briefly touch on that, and then we'll jump into the guidance. We did have a quiet Monday and Tuesday, not much to speak of. We had a little bit of a Schumann resonance spike Tuesday, Wednesday. And to be honest, I forgot to even look the rest of the week. So we had a couple of M-class flares on Wednesday. Thursday, things really picked up. We had 21 C-class flares and 5 M-class flares, total of 26 flares for that day, which is pretty high. But still C-class flares are at the lower end of the spectrum. Friday, we had minor 3M and 8 C-class flares. Saturday was very calm with only 3 C-class flares. And then we got hit with a big X-class flare in the morning hours today. I will back up to Sunday and say, as far as solar weather, we didn't have much going on, but energetically, there's a lot. And some people are feeling extremely fatigued, and some people are feeling extremely activated and motivated and energized and wanting to conquer the world. A lot of things are moving, and that's I personally, as an Aries sun, like the momentum. I like the movement. I would rather do that than be in the divine pause. Some people prefer that, and I'm finding that that is connected to your trauma response. If you, like me, have a predominant trauma response of flight, and you like to be on the go and constantly in the momentum, then you'll enjoy these moments of intensity and pickup. If you are in that lower dorsal vagal state of fawn or freeze, you probably like the divine pause, and you're probably pretty happy in the chill moments. So do know that that is specific or can be a factor in how you experience or enjoy these energies, and also know that you can shift if you are ready to get out of the stuck phase of fawn and freeze and start to move up into a fight or flight, and then eventually into loving connection. Those are states of the nervous system, and we can learn to consciously work with that. I love trauma so much, I could talk about that all day long, but we're going to stick with the Monday Mastery guidance on how to move forward. The big X-class solar flare that hit us in the early hours this morning definitely, I believe, was being felt even Sunday. And so that likely was part of that energy as it was getting ready to come towards us. The big region of the sunspot, let me clarify that. The sunspot region that was sending us so many X-class flares 2 weeks ago is now coming back around to the front side of the sun, or the earth facing side of the sun. And so we may see some more flares throughout this week as well. So just jumping into the energy is moving fast. There's definitely this feeling of like ADHD today, where it's like, am I doing this or am I doing that? Or are we going here? Are we going there? And it's fun, but the frenetic piece of it can make it feel activating to the nervous system, obviously. And it can cause us to be less productive when we are bouncing from thing to thing. We think that multitasking is effective, but actually it's not. And if you see me fighting with the sticky notes today, I will say, don't buy the cheap sticky notes, because sticky notes that are cheap don't stick, which actually begs the question, are they even sticky notes if they don't stick? But lesson learned, we'll get some better ones for next week. So I might just be pinning up sticky notes half this session as well. So again, I'm kind of getting back to the energy. It feels like that red light, green light kind of feeling, like, are we going? Are we stopping? Things have moved so fast. Today, it's as if we're trying on new outfits in at lightning speed or in real time. It's like, we're going to go here, and this is the plan. Okay, this is what's happening, and then it's like, oh wait, here's a new piece of information, and now we're going to pivot, and now this is going to happen, and oh wait, and it just keeps moving and moving. So at least things are moving. That's a good sign. Remember to stay in your power, that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, that you are the decider. And you are not a victim. You are not a victim to this energy. You are not a victim to your trauma or your history. You are not a victim to anyone or anything outside of you. If anything, if we want to try to cling to our victim position, we would say that we are victim to ourselves, that our energy, our traumas, our thought patterns, the state of our frequency, vibration, and nervous system, which is all one and the same, is what is causing us to experience what we are experiencing. So just remember, it can feel confusing. We can question, am I at the mercy of the astrology? Or, does God hate me? Or however you perceive it. That is a perspective, that is a belief, that is a position that you have chosen based on your experiences. It appears to be true and is not necessarily. It is true because we cling to it, because we choose it, and that can shift. God and the angels and the universe and all beings in service to the one true creator desire your happiness and your success. They want you to succeed. And everything, life is happening for you and not to you. Everything is working in your favor. And when we choose to see that and believe that, that's when we'll start to experience that. The beautiful thing about where we're going or what we're experiencing currently and will experience in the future is there's no going back. That it's very common to have this concern about going back, right? What if I go back to the pain? What if I go back to the struggle? What if I go back to restriction or feeling trapped? You get to decide, because you are the decider. You declare it's done. It is done. There's no going back. We're not going back to that old thing. And for those of us who are excited about not going back, that's a really good thing. If you desire to go back, also know that these energies are not going to allow that. So we can look forward to say that I am moving towards my miracle. I am moving towards my manifestation. I am moving towards the life that God designed for me. I'm moving towards being the highest version of myself. No more struggle. I will not experience the same circumstances again. I will not experience the same fear again, because I'm a new person and we're in new energy. None of it is going to be the same going forward. Know that you are that powerful. When you decide to declare, I'm never going back, then it is done, right? Make friends with any activation that might happen in that process. Really look at what comes up for you in your body. What do you feel? What is the resistance? Where are the yeah buts? What are the doubts? Make friends with that activation so that you can start to shift and change it. Look at it, dance around it so that you can find a new perspective. In these, especially in X flare or high solar maximum times, we have a lot of activation in our body. And if you're anything like me, if you had a very difficult childhood, activation feels scary. It feels dangerous. I want to move away from activation. Activation in my body feels like a threat, right? That rattling of the nervous system or the cage can feel like there's something wrong here. But really, activation is a good thing. We need activation. That is what is designed to get us to move and to shift and to change and move away from danger and to do new and different things. We want to start to make friends with our activation and understand the messages of the body so that we can hold the energy, right? When we suggest that in these moments of high intensity or a lot of momentum or a lot of movement, or it can even feel like chaos swirling around you, the recommendation is to stand firm, stand still in the eye of the storm. And what that means is to be able to hold yourself and hold your energy through the experience. We tend to especially for those of us who have a lot of trauma in our history, we tend to look at our experience as potentially life-threatening. Although that is a bit of an exaggeration, that's what the nervous system is afraid of. The brain and the nervous system are designed to keep us safe, designed to keep us alive. And when we have gone through so much, especially in those early years where it's too much too soon or not enough for too long, it felt like we couldn't handle it. We couldn't tolerate it. It was too much. And we want to remember that we're not there anymore. We're never going back, and we can handle this. It's not too much anymore. Right. So standing still in the eye of the storm is learning to make friends with the activation in the body, learning how to regulate the nervous system, how to monitor the stories and watch what thoughts are creating more activation and more aggravation. Any belief around this will never change, or this is always what happens to me, or like my life is difficult. All of these patterns and stories that we continue to perpetuate will make that activation sustained for longer periods until you decide to stop those stories and find new perspectives. Holding yourself through that is recognizing I'm activated. My system is rattling right now. It feels very, very uncomfortable. And yet I know the way through is to sit with that experience in my body. That if I distract and I choose to look away, numb out, disassociate in some way, to go off and out there seeking a solution, I actually keep whatever the stuck emotion, the trauma, the experience, whatever that was, I keep it in me and save it for later, in which case it's going to be even stronger. So holding yourself through it means being with it, allowing it to have its process so that it naturally dissipates and leaves your body on its own. And then you will come back to regulation and stillness in the body. This is how we stand still in the eye of the storm, is watch your experience and move through it, not pushing, but allowing it to move through on its own. And that's when you will start to see everything shift, not only within, but of course, without. Let go of any contraction, restriction, resistance, holding on, the process of controlling. If you find the brain going, oh, we're not going to think about that, or we're going to push it out, or I'm going to command and tell it what to do, that's control. And that's a trauma response. We have to let go and soften into it like you would a contraction so that you can birth a new life, right? Watch the stories, watch the perspectives, and shift it. Find a new story, a new perspective, and keep doing that until it feels good, until it feels aligned. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, right? Take the chance and do a trust fall into God's arms. Let him catch you. Do not move the way fear moves you. I can tell you this. There have been many times in my life where I was so afraid of what could happen that I decided to put a plan in place. And in that process of putting that plan in place, I created more hardship and more difficulty. It was like the frog who leaps out of the frying pan and into the fire. You have to be able to hold yourself through the activation and through the experience so that you can let God catch you, right? He will catch you no matter what. I can promise you that. And if you're in the early stages of the surrender and the release and practicing this, you probably will get right up against the edge of your comfort zone, right? If it's a money thing, it'll be the last penny, right? If it's a relationship thing, it'll be the last minute where it had to be dealt with, right? If it's a health thing, it might be the last minute until magically your miracle shows up, right? Do not move the way fear moves you. There are no shoulds. There is no punishment. You cannot earn it. You cannot deserve it, because, and what that means is don't try to earn it. Don't try to deserve it, because you already deserve it. You're already worthy of it. You can't earn it because it's already yours. So don't try to create it or to work hard so that you deserve it, because that would be wasted energy, right? There's no waiting. Divine timing is alignment within you. Your miracle is waiting for you to show up, right? Be still and know that I am God, be still and know my name means in your stillness, you are letting him show up. Because if you go out there and you're doing all this busy work and you actually make a little bit of something happen, you're going to be like, look what I did. Versus just be in stillness and let him show up. He, she, it, they, them, because it is everything. Let him show up in a way that is it blows your mind, right? Let him show up in his full, authentic glory, right? I think the word that came through was majesty, so that you could see his majesty, right? What you seek is seeking you, and your manifestation is waiting for you to show up. Your job is to work with the nervous system, hold yourself and the energy, shift your beliefs and your stories, and open to receive. Start to notice the contraction of an activated nervous system versus the expansion of that healing, rest, digest, growth, repair, love, and connection state of your nervous system. Step into expansion and notice, get really intimately familiar with those moments of contraction. I love you, my friends. Happy Memorial Day, and I will see you on the next one. Oh, and by the way, I do also have a free training link in the description if you would like to check that out. Otherwise, if this is Instagram or Facebook, send me a message. All right, that's it. I love you, my friends. Namaste.